If this comment section doesn't give you the goosebumps, I don't know what will. Serious intuition stories. Tried my entire pregnancy because something was wrong and nobody was listening to me. I begged and begged them to find out what was wrong. I would sob to my husband every night telling him something was wrong and what if he dies. I gave birth, still felt like something was wrong. We were home for 6 days and I took my son to the pediatrician 5 times telling them something was wrong. She finally sent me to the children's hospital because she was out of ideas. We got there and were immediately taken back to trauma bay. He was dying. He had an undiagnosed heart condition that required emergency heart surgery, and they told me he wouldn't have made it through the night. He's sitting on my lap now, 8 months old. Oh my God. One afternoon, I went for a walk and met this guy, and he seemed really nice. He then said he sees me often because he lived in the same building as me. He asked which apartment I stayed in. I was hesitant, but as soon as I was about to say my apartment number, I heard a shh in my ear. So I said a random number. A few days later, that apartment was broken into, and honestly, I don't even want to say the rest. Next time, just don't answer. When I was 10, my mom was in an incredibly abusive relationship. Her boyfriend would go out and get drunk and high and come back and rain hell on us. This night he left, something in me was screaming that he was going to kill us. I just knew it. I woke up my little sister and told her to get her shoes on around midnight. I ripped my mom out of bed. I knew we didn't have much time. She was wondering what was going on, and I screamed, "We need to leave. He's going to kill us." I dragged her to the front door, gave her and my sister a jumper, and told them to run. We got about 15 meters away from the house, and I knew he was coming. I told my mom to meet me at the train station, about a 7 to 8 minute walk. Her and my sister start running like hell down the alleyway, and right as they nearly turned off the alley, I saw him come around the corner in his car. I stood right under the streetlight so he could see me and screamed, "Come catch me," and ran like I've never ran in my life. I had no idea where I was running, but I came out of this random street and the train was waiting on the platform. As I'm running onto the platform, I turned and he was right behind me. I jumped onto the closest carriage as the doors were shutting and he just missed me and didn't make it on. I turned around and my mom and sister were on that carriage with me. I didn't even know where the train was going. And it was the last one of the night. It's like straight out of a movie. I was in Walmart, walked past a man and got that ice cold feeling. Decided to keep an eye on him. Saw him turn down the toy aisle. Still keeping a distance from him, I saw him staring at a little girl. Wasn't long before he approached her. I finally stepped in. He was actively flashing her. I covered her eyes and screamed for help. The girl's mother came. I chased him to his car for his license plate. He had a history of this. Love to see women looking out for each other, and also I hope he's in jail. My first pregnancy, I had a dream of my baby in her car seat. When I turned the seat around, she had no face, and in that moment, I knew I would not birth a full-term baby. I just knew in my heart that I'd lose her. I was right. I woke up in the middle of the night and felt the urge to check my bank account. This was 2012, so I drove to the bank ATM at 3 a.m. to check, and $1,000 was missing. Turns out my boyfriend at the time was stealing money from me. I hope he's also in jail. Heard my name and woke up. Instinct said check on my son, so I did. His door was hot to the touch. The space heater flipped and didn't automatically turn off this time. His room was an oven, and he passed out covered in sweat. No injuries and he's okay, but I swear I heard my name and something in my gut told me to check on my son. Thank God for mama intuition. I often wear earphones with loud music when I'm taking a break at home. I was listening to the loudest song, fell asleep, was in the basement of my home, and woke up with every hair standing up. It was like I was out of my body. I quietly came upstairs and crawled to the front door and locked it. A huge old guy with a baton came up trying to open it seconds later. I was coming home late, usually walk through a park, but one night decided not to as something fell off. Someone was killed there an estimated time 10 minutes after I decided against walking through it. I don't know if it's considered intuition or not, but my ability to read people is crazy. There's been so many times that I've met people and immediately after told my husband their vibe was off and then been proven right. Yes, that's intuition. I came home on my lunch break. I saw a car parked on the street. Something told me not to get out of my car. After about 5 minutes, I put my car in drive. In that same second, a group of men hop out of the car and charge me, guns drawn. I didn't hesitate. I accelerated, hitting one of them. Drove to a police station. Weeks later, found out they were running a trafficking ring in the abandoned house a block over. My intuition that day was 1, don't get out, something is off, and 2, put your car in drive. Oh my God. Intuition helped me find my brother when police had spent 3 months looking for him. I was working away and my family had hidden his disappearance from me. One morning I had a feeling something was not right and asked Spirit Side to confirm who was needing me. Received a sign indicating my brother needed me. Couldn't get a hold of him or any other family members for ages till I finally got a hold of Gran, who admitted his disappearance. I quit my job and moved home that same day. 8 a.m. the next day, I left the house to look for him. Intuition led me to a place I'd never been and I felt drawn to a tower block. I followed that gut feeling and found him in a locked room where he was barely alive. Police and ambulance came when I called them. Police asked how I knew where he was and even suspected me as a person who hid him, but I proved I wasn't involved. Told them I followed my intuition and it always led me to where I was needed. Doctors later said if I had been even an hour later, he probably would have passed away. His first words after recovering were, "I knew you'd find me. The voices said you would." What? The last time I spoke to my stepfather, I had a gut feeling that I should tell him good night and I loved him, even though I rarely did. He died 30 minutes later. Oh my God. In the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, I had a dream that a red-haired doctor came in from the ultrasound and told me there was no baby. 2 days later, a red-haired doctor came in and told us we had lost our son. Ugh. 5 a.m., I randomly woke up with a horrible gut feeling to check his phone messages. It was like someone was literally guiding me each step and took 5 seconds to find 1,000+ deleted messages from his ex. Never questioned my intuition after. Good riddance. He sounds horrible. Every time I've spoken to someone for the first time, I instantly know if they are good or bad. At first, I thought it was paranoia, but I still kept that gut feeling in case. I am always right. I was supposed to go out with my friends, but I had a super eerie feeling. Went out anyways, got called paranoid, but kept my guard up. In the middle of the club, I felt a shiver on the back of my neck and turned around. A guy who had tried to run me off the road 3 months prior was standing 5 feet away from me and staring. I suddenly got sick and ran to the bathroom, and a bunch of women I didn't know accompanied me and my friends out. Never knew their names, but I'm grateful for them every day. Love to see women looking out for each other. There was an elderly man who was doing community service at a shelter I worked at. I just knew there was something off about him. Not long after he finished his community service, he was arrested for a 40-year-old unsolved unaliving case. Was going on a road trip with family, got a horrible feeling in my stomach before we were about to leave. They were trying to leave quickly. I accidentally locked the car keys inside the house along with the house keys. We eventually got them and got on our way. Based on how long it took us to get the keys and get on the road, about an hour. An hour into the drive, there was a 4-car pileup and no one survived. My parents think it was a fluke, but I know that it would have been us. I was driving at night with my mom on the phone. I was at a red light and mid-conversation she said, very calmly, "Lock the doors." I laughed, but she was calm and had so much certainty in her voice that I locked my doors. Not even a second after, a man ran up to my driver door and tried the handle. She said she just had a feeling I needed my doors locked, and thank God she did. Yeah, thank God. 10 years ago, my mom picked me up and I told her I had a feeling I was going to die, like something was going to happen. She was freaked out, asked if I wanted to reschedule, and I told her it was fine, that we were good, and it was just an eerie feeling. After our running around, we approached an intersection just as it turned yellow, and instead of proceeding through it with the left turn, she stopped and went, "It's okay, I'm not in any rush." Within seconds of the light turning red, a truck ran the red light going at least 40 kilometers over the speed limit. If she would have turned, we would have gotten hit, and it would have been my side. Hiking with my dog. He turned around and started growling, and there was a man behind us. Not worried, as it's a hiking trail. I started to feel sick and he kept turning around to growl. I turned around and he was walking a bit faster. We were the only 2 people on this trail and I was deep in the woods. I veered off the trail to see if he would follow me. He did. So I let my dog off leash and we kept walking. I found another trail to go on and saw a couple walking together. I yelled out to them like I was meeting up with them. I turned around and watched him slink back onto the trail, putting a knife back in his jacket. What? I get deja revi all the time. What is that? Whoa. Here, you can screenshot if you want to read it. About 4 years ago, I was at home with my daughter and my best friend was 8 months pregnant. I'd seen her that day and all was fine, but about 11 p.m. while watching something in bed, I got this violent pain in my stomach. Like horrific, nearly threw up instantly kind of pain. Someone in my head was screaming her name. I called my mom, got her to come over and watch my daughter, then drove to her house. I didn't even bother calling, just used my spare emergency key. She was on the kitchen floor bleeding, had a seizure, and gone into preterm labor. I had to deliver her baby using 999 operators as my guides while she could barely form a coherent sentence. Ambulance arrived and found she had undiagnosed preeclampsia. If I hadn't have trusted my intuition and got there, both her and the baby would have died. Girl, she is so lucky to have you. Also, oh my God, I woke up out of a dead sleep when I was in high school. My room was in the basement. My mom and 4 siblings were on the upper floor. I got everyone up and outside because I was convinced something was wrong. There was a carbon monoxide leak and our detector had failed. This is actually my worst fear, so... I was invited to a Halloween party in 2010. My mom walked outside, looked at the sky and said, "You're not going. Something bad will happen." I didn't question it. My best friend got killed at that party that night. I'm so sorry. And also, mama intuition strikes again. Wow. August 3rd, 2019, my dad took me to his Little League baseball game that he coached. I wanted to go to Walmart with my youngest Tio, and my dad mentioned it to my Tia over the phone while they were at their own baseball game. She told him to make us stay because she had a bad feeling and basically begged my Tio to stay until the game finished and go to a different Walmart. My Tio agreed, and halfway through the game, we all got a notification that the Walmart we were supposed to go to was shot up and many people died. I was out late in my backyard one night looking at the full moon because I love taking pictures of it. I got the weirdest feeling in my stomach, like I shouldn't be outside. I went inside immediately. The next day, I found out that the man who lived next door murdered his family and then killed an old man who lived directly behind him because the old man was sitting on his back patio. When I saw the time frame the police put it at, I nearly fainted. It happened 30 minutes after I went inside. The sixth sense is real and women have it.